Assalamu alaikum everyone. Again, welcome in another online class here where we'll be talking about letters that gives information to the audience. Letters of information, as far as are concerned, they are solely related to the part of giving information. Now, this information could either be requested by someone else or you want to give someone that information. So there could be two ways. Either someone wants you to provide information or you provide information because you are supposed to give information in the particular context. So letter of giving information is considered in that way. Starting from the first, when we talk about the letters of giving information or the exercises to deal with, because the best way to practice and to learn any exercise, any particular topic, any particular genre, we need to go through rigorous exercises to solve them. So starting from the very first exercise here, I just want to bring your attention to this particular part, that since this exercise is relevant to the listening part, so we are not concerned with this exercise. Just skip this exercise, right? Do not be concerned about this. Just skip this exercise and move forward. All right. Now, when we say move forward, of course, we have more exercises to deal with in order to brainstorm and scaffold this particular topic, that is a letters of giving information. They say that letter giving information is a formal piece of writing related to a particular situation. So of course, it's a formal piece of writing that gives a particular information, and its main purpose is to give information, usually when this has been requested by someone else or you want to give information to someone else. So in this regard, it may also provide suggestions, requests, help, giving an information, or providing more details. So see, this is what we call letter of giving information, since that was somehow the beginning and the introductory part of writing informational letters, or a letter that contains information to be provided to someone else. So now see, when we say that each point should be presented in a separate paragraph containing a clear topic sentence supported by examples or justification. So in the informational letter or a letter that provides information, every paragraph is separately set a different idea, and each paragraph contains a separate idea, and these ideas are joined or linked together with the linking words or the transitions that we have already talked about. There's a useful language being used, useful language that you can use while talking, while writing, while discussing letter of information. So the useful language, the useful target language that we can use for the beginning of the letter and for the ending of the letter is given here. Let's talk about it. You can start your letter with I'm writing to inform you that or advise you of or let you know that, right? So see, this is how we can start. This is one of the example based on the situation given. I regret, or I am delighted, or I would like to, or I feel obliged to inform you. Now, based on the context, the situation, you can use any of the language used here as an example. I'm writing in response to, in reply to, with regard to, in connection with your letter, or whatever the scenario you are going through. You can talk about that part as well. So this is what we say, that writing a letter, and how we can introduce a letter in the beginning. And then of course, I'm writing to you on behalf of XYZ if you are representing an organization, and I'm writing in my capacity as, if you have your own firm maybe, or you are leading your small business and you are writing in that capacity maybe. So this is what all we talk about, the beginning of the letter of information that you can provide. So we have already talked about it, and I hope you'll be using this language in order to refine and in order to come up with better version of your letters writing. Moving forward down the line to the ending part of the letter, I hope that this information will be of some assistance. So of course, by ending your letter mean that you are now going to sign off from your letter. You just want to give a notion here that now I'm ending it. So the language depends on that ending context as well. And further, it has been given here. I hope, trust that I have been able to answer all of your questions. Of course, you can use any of the examples given here in your ending of the letter and here in the beginning of your letter. So these are the examples being provided. Here it has been provided a sample of your letter that you can draft in as a sample. For instance, the first paragraph you state a reason for writing, the second paragraph you give information required, and second and third paragraph, and of course the fourth and fifth paragraph provide further explanations, suggestions, opinions as stated in the task instructions or as instructed in the task. So this is the typical structure of the information paragraph, having almost 5 paragraphs, and then of course in the first paragraph you talk about the reason, in the second paragraph you come up with the information, second and third, and then the fourth and the fifth paragraph you move forward to suggestions and explanation, and then of course the final paragraph you close that particular writing. And this is what we do in informational writing, informational letter writing. Moving down the line towards the now more exercises and tasks, live exercises and tasks, which are very important. Here in this particular exercise, they have given you a sample letter written by someone else, and the subject of that sample letter is here. That's someone has written it. For instance, as the university accommodation officer, you have received a letter. You are the university accommodation officer. You've received a letter requesting information. Then you are writing write a letter in reply, including details of available housing facility, the amenities provided, location and transportation facilities, and rent costs. So see, this is what you are replying to a letter. So instructions being provided here. Read the instructions and model letter below and give the details, and further the details have been provided. So now go through the sample letter written here by the university administration or the housing authority. This is a sample letter written here. You would enjoy reading the language, and that is what we need to do. Reading this sample letter will give you the notion of understanding the language, and of course adopting that language in your writing letters. So now the task that we need to deal with here is, you can see here there are some paragraphs given, and they're asking you that identify whether in each paragraph, for instance, this is one of the paragraph here, they're asking you that what do you see that in the first paragraph, what topic or what idea they are talking about. So see, in the first paragraph, if you go through the first paragraph, you will reach at the conclusion that the first paragraph is, this paragraph talks about the reason why this letter is being written. So the reason for writing is explaining here in the first paragraph. When you go through the second and the third paragraph, of course, so the second and third paragraph, I'm solving these two for you, and the rest you have to deal with it, right? So see, the second paragraph is talking about the information being provided. See, they're providing some information. Now they're asking you that what do you think that in the third paragraph, what would be the topic of the third paragraph? Either it is providing information, it is providing opinions, suggestions, conclusion, what? So in each paragraph, you have to decide what its topic is. The way we have talked about the first paragraph, where they're talking that it is explaining the reason of writing now this particular letter. So similarly, the second one is providing information. Now you'll keep writing about the rest of the paragraphs in the Word document, right? And read it thoroughly, and you'll improve and adopt your language for writing your own paragraph. So this particular exercise is related to giving topics to each paragraph provided there in the letter writing. Now moving further down the line to this particular part, next page, page number 90, where they are explaining that read instructions and the two models and answer the questions. I mean A, B, C, and you need to answer these questions in a way. The first one is which one successfully covers the requirements of the topic. So this is the topic given, right? This is the topic for which person A and person B, person A and person B, they have written two model essays, right? So this one is model A, this one is model B. Now you have to choose that either in model A or B, which one has successfully covered the requirement of the topic. Similarly, which one uses an inappropriate style and tone in both of them, right? You need to go through by the reading part, and after reading, of course, you will decide that which one uses an inappropriate style and tone, and you'll be writing it there. And then how is each paragraph introduced in the good model? if you think that this one is good, this one is bad. Now in this particular good model, how the paragraphs have been modeled, how the paragraphs have been structured, right? This is what you need to talk about. And this particular exercise will cover all the reading part and then identifying and reflecting on both of the samples. Okay, so the model B is for instance good. So this is good because ABC reasons. You will just write down your reasons in the Word document by giving a title that this is exercise number 3 in task sheet, and then you will start writing your answers in few lines, not in detail. You'll be just covering the questions asked here, A, B, and C. All right. So this is what we need to deal with the next task. And as soon as we move forward, of course, more rigorous and more informative tasks are waiting for us here. And the most importantly, I would say this is something very important, and you would love reading and enjoying this exercise. The reason being that in this particular exercise, they have asked you, this is the topic of this letter they have written for, right? Just beneath that topic, you can see here there are different paragraphs. They have asked you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now the question is, read the instruction and the model letter below and find the topic sentence of each paragraph. Now you need to find the topic sentence. I mean, the first paragraph is, for instance, talking about the reason, right? For why, what is the reason of writing this letter? And then, now what are the two purposes of writing the letter? What are the purposes of writing this letter? And then particularly, then underline any word or phrases which you feel are too informal or for a letter of this kind. Underlines two or three phrases which you think are not appropriate, they are not formal, they are informally written here. So by completing this particular task number 4, you'll be able to identify that of course there are ideas that we need to talk about, there are ideas that we need to cover, and this is what we need to deal with it. And this is what you will go through the ideas. Now here, see, in the exercise number 5, what you are supposed to do with, look at the phrases below and say which could be used to replace the informal expression in exercise number 4. See, now see, there are different words that we can use here, right? For instance, if we say, again, look at the phrases below and say which could be used to replace the informal expressions in exercise 4. There are some informal expressions in exercise number 4. The first one they have given for you, that in the hope that you could inform. See, look at this one first. So you can tell, instead of you can tell, you can use in the hope that you could inform. So now because can is somehow informal, right? And that could be replaced with this structure. I mean, this one will go with B. So we'll write here 1. And similarly, now in the second line, in this area, I am sure you know that there are currently no recycling facilities. So now I don't know which part you think will go to the second one. You need to go through all these from A to J, right? And then if you think that in this area, we would be extremely grateful. It is hoped that by doing this, what you think is appropriate for the second part out of A to J, and you will just choose that part. And similarly, of course, we just need to, in this particular class, in today's class, we need to stick till exercise number 5, and the rest of the exercises will be discussed in upcoming class on Wednesday, inshallah, right? So far, so good. You go through the video. Still, if you have any questions, we'll be online in live discussion session. You can ask questions there as well. So good luck and see you again. Thank you. Allah Hafiz.